Good morning. We have with us Mr. Sundaresan AS,
Hello.
Joint Managing Director and CEO, JSW Paints. Good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
In IPA conference 2023, we are at Goa, and the whole paint industry is talking about nutation, which is reimagining the paint business. So let us hear from sir about the short-term and the long-term reimagination that the paint industry would be doing over the years.
Thank you. It's an interesting question, and as you are aware, at JSW Paints, we are the newest entrant. Of course, there are going to be more new entrants over the next few years, but we have a certain vision, and this entire theme of this conference of nutation is very much in sort of sync with what actually we are also having as an outlook, because we tell ourselves that we are aiming to create a paint company of the future, and that can only happen by really questioning, by looking at what changes need to come and how do we move the entire industry to different paradigms. And from the time that we have been we've gone commercial, we have tried to do that only in terms of ushering in extremely thoughtful disruptions, and that is what we believe is our mission, and that is what we try to do day in and day out. And in line with that, yes, 2023 again, we will be looking to bring about some more freshness either on the paint side or on the painting side, in terms of what we will do, both on the decorative side as well as on the industrial side. So I think that's how we are looking at it.
The paint industry is talking about moving from presently 62,000 crores to 1 lakh crores in the next 5 years. How do you see, sir, this number and how it can be achieved as a group and also individually?
Yeah. So when you mean as a group, as the paint industry, yes, together, so I think these numbers are quite practical and realistic if you look at the track record of how the industry has been growing. Moving from 60,000 to 1 lakh crore is certainly quite doable. In fact, I would probably think that if the industry, the paint companies, and with new players coming in, if there is going to be more attention which for the consumer to get involved into paints and painting, this can be even a much higher figure. That's how I would look at it, because it's public. Everybody keeps talking about the India's per capita consumption versus the global. Plus, you're seeing the kind of growth or kind of expansion, kind of attention to what is needed in a house, the shift to pakka houses and the shift to just individual houses. All of them are typically becoming G+2, G+3 kind of this thing. So there is certainly a lot of ground level expansion of what can be painted, and there is clearly a directional shift towards having things look good, well maintained, etc. So given this, I believe there is potential to even double the 60,000 in the next 5 years if there is a lot of good collective work which is done by the industry.
Sir, as a new entrant, you would have faced a lot of hardship, and now you have overcome that and moving ahead on a fast pace. What are the plans that you have for 2023, and how are you planning to achieve?
Okay. Like I said, the overarching vision is to build a paint company of the future, and for that we believe, yes, we need to be present, and therefore it's been a year since we have become a pan-India player, and our aim is to continue to grow rapidly. As you know, we are the fastest company to have crossed 1,000 crores within 3 years of commissioning. And we aim to look at maintaining a very healthy growth rate. In industrial, we started with coil coatings and we are clearly expanding to other segments of protective coatings, which we believe like we can do. And we believe like needs to be done for a country like India with increasing focus coming on to manufacturing. And so far as the decorative is concerned, yes, we have now wired across the country. We will aim to continue to see how we can grow very healthily, at least look to double year on year, because we believe like that is required for us to reach and make consumers experience a whole lot of the thoughtful disruptions which we are doing. And that's what we are looking to do.
Any numbers to it, sir, in terms of capex and revenue numbers that you would be touching?
So capex right now, the focus is in terms of enhancing it at our existing locations. We have 2 manufacturing locations, one in Karnataka and one in Maharashtra. We continue to increase the capacity there itself. And over the next 3 years, we should have one more plant coming up, which would be an integrated one, both for industrial and decorative. And we are looking at Madhya Pradesh and UP and Haryana, somewhere in the central and north. But we're certainly making steady progress in terms of getting it done in Madhya Pradesh. And once some of the on-ground formalities get completed, I think we'll be able to very formally announce a date. But yes, in the next 3 years, we should be having one more manufacturing location at least, if not more.
And from 1,000 crores to?
In terms of the turnover?
Yeah.
So 1,000 crores was what we did last financial year. And like I said, our aim is to keep doubling in decorative and industrial, which was about 60% of our business last year. This year would be about 50-50. We should, we should be doing somewhere between 1,500 to 1,000 crores this year, and we aim to see that how can we clearly look at a certain market share by 25-26, which is what we are more keen to look at. And there we are saying, okay, we should get to about a 5 to 8% kind of a market share in decorative by that time. So that's what we are.
And are you looking at, sir, e-commerce model, or are you trying? And if you are trying, what has been your response to the e-commerce model?
Okay.
More from a customer buying perspective, because presently those models are not working in terms of the look and the feel of the colors on the screen versus what you see on a physical store visit.
Okay, there are 2 sides to e-commerce. Okay, one is e-commerce where it is about the consumer using information to decide. I think that's an area which most companies have been focusing, and we will also continue to focus, because paint is still relatively a low involvement category. Consumers don't know a lot about paint and painting, other than, like you rightly pointed out, choosing color. So work is continuously on to see how to simplify. For instance, what we have gone to town itself is with a very simplified, feature-packed range, very crystal clear for consumers to make the right choice based on their needs, rather than just proliferating a very large, wide range of products. So we call our range as simple, swift, and sure to finish. Now,
3S.
Sorry?
3S.
Yeah, 3S. Because we believe, that's what will make the consumers get more involved and make an informed choice. So all our efforts are in terms of how to demystify things about paints, how consumers can make an informed choice and go beyond just choosing color. And that's been our attempt in terms of what we are trying to do. And the consumers who experience us, they say yes, they are able to see that difference. And we would like to certainly reach more and do that. So coming back to this thing around digitally, how can we enable them to make an informed choice will be one. The other part which you're talking about, e-commerce, which is in terms of business through this thing. So I think there, I'm not sure whether India is a market is ready for e-commerce for almost anything. Forget about paints. I mean, if you look at consumers and all of that, any e-commerce model has only worked if somebody has burnt cash. If somebody is not burning cash with, whether it is Amazon, Flipkart, Big Bazaar, Big Basket, you name it. All of them are Zomato, all those things, they all are working only if somebody is really putting cash to the table. I don't think consumers are still ready to pay for a service of e-commerce. For paint industry to do it, then we need to, but then because the industry is already fairly well set in terms of reaching to the consumers, the other thing is the basket of products which paint sells is very wide. So for an e-commerce model to stock and service, there are challenges. My sense is e-commerce will again probably help customers access certain services, maybe access some information about price discovery, etc. Some of that may happen, but the physical thing of business happening through e-commerce is still some distance away, purely because of it's a voluminous product. It's like, will you go and order, maybe you might get to ordering a truck of cement through e-commerce before you will think of ordering paint through e-commerce. Okay.